Hello, you noble people. My name is the Noble, and today is going to be my review of Pokemon Champions. The good, the bad, the ugly, as the title says, as I have some opinions on this game, and I figured we'll share them, and I'm going to try and break them down into 3 or 4 different stuff. The really good stuff, the bad stuff, and the really bad stuff. Because this game has some issues, but then also has some positives, but then has stuff that I don't know how to feel about, and some stuff that I might get improved upon. It's kind of weird. So first, let's break it down for the really good stuff that I do like with this game. First up is the actual battles themselves. Not only is this actually function as a battle simulator, but it functions kind of like Generation 8, where we actually have really good move animations. While I do like Scarlet and Violet for its story and its gimmick, and the Pokemon added, I really don't like it graphically. And I kind of missed having some animations for stuff, because in Scarlet and Violet it was just kind of like really bare bones, but we actually have like in-depth move animations for even like normal moves like Dazzling Gleam. Trick Room has a much better animation. Stuff like Waterfall has the animation from Gen 8 where you actually see the Pokemon getting hit on a waterfall. It looks aesthetically pleasing for the moves, and I think that makes the games feel more impactful. When it goes down to like Generation 9, when you would like fight in Generation 9, sometimes the moves would look very lackluster, except maybe some of like the stronger moves like Blood Moon, Ursaluna's move or stuff like that. But I like the moves here because even like a generic Solar Beam looks really aesthetically pleasing, and I think that's something they really nailed. And unfortunately, that's all the really good stuff I can say about this game, as everything else is just like okay or passable, and to the point where it's bad. The main core battles are fine. They are fun, they are battles. Using the new Mega Evolutions is fun, but obviously there was bugs here, so we kind of waited a couple months to get like a actively worse controlling game than Scarlet Violet. Heck, even Showdown pre-Champions VGC, when I was playing a couple other games, I had more fun in some of those games trying to use Mega Crabominable with its previous ability than I did some of the fights I have here. Not saying they're bad, they're still Pokemon fights, and they still are entertaining, especially with the new move animations. It's just the case of me not really liking the format initially too much. It's kind of weird how to describe it without having to get into the stuff that is actually bad, but one thing that I will say is kind of good slash bad is the decks. The starting decks we have has a decently good chunk of Mons, but at the same time, it's very limiting. We don't have like staples of like the old Mega Evolutions like Mega Gross, Mega Salamances in the game. Heck, even like some like VGC staples in the recent years aren't in here. Neither the Ursalunas are in here, and DD Grimmsnarl aren't here. So it makes the games kind of interesting that some hard hitters aren't in here, so you kind of have to play around. That's cool. I like that. The problem is some of the decks is also littered with mons that you would never ever use, like ever. Like the monkeys are here, like the elemental monkeys are here for some reason. I don't know why they would choose to put in the elemental monkeys in a competitive type of game. They decided against like a lot of like other staples, like Ursaluna. I mentioned Ursaluna not being in here, but Ursaluna was like in trailers and stuff, which is weird. The some of the other decision that I think is weird is not introducing all of the megas. Like, people were excited to see the new megas, but then they decided to skip out on some of the megas from ZA. And it's not like it was, we get the original megas, then we get the DLC megas. No, there's like a more DLC megas than there are like original megas, I feel like. Like, Crabominable, Golurk's in here, Drampa is part of the base game. But like, we don't have stuff like Scovillain got in the game, but not like Scolipede. It feels kind of weird to kind of talk about this stuff. And then you get to the abilities of the new Megamons, which are so disappointing. We got only, I would say, a handful of actually cool Mega Pokemon for their abilities. Mega Golurk, the one that you're seeing right now as background footage as I was running a team with it, is the one that I'm mainly using, but FYI, I've swapped off and I went to an all-bug team because I wasn't having fun with Mega Golurk because he just doesn't feel that strong. Mega Golurk got Unseen Fist, which is an insanely strong ability, but they nerfed it because they gave Golurk Unseen Fist and they gave Excadrill a different version called Piercing Drill. Now, that's fine, you can give those mons those abilities, but also, they're not good users of it. Urshifu was so good with it because Urshifu has a move that always crits and hits multiple times, or a really solid dark type move. With Golurk and Excadrill likes using Rock Slide and Earthquake, which aren't contact moves. So they're not gonna be going through Protect, or sorry, Earthquake doesn't go through Protect. Rock Slide will, because Rock Slide makes contact. And Golurk likes doing Earthquake and Poltergeist, but Poltergeist doesn't make contact. Now, obviously, it's not the end of the world because they did get new moves, but like Golurk's best Ghost type stab option that makes contact is Shadow Punch, which is 60 base power. It's just kind of detrimental. It would have been better with a different ability. Now, obviously, there are mons that did good abilities. Mega Starmie got huge power, even though it's not really good in the format because Bex, Incin and Kingambit are everywhere for a psychic type that's going to be kind of bad. But for, like, Fairy Aura Floette, Mega Floette, is just like an insanely strong, it's just another Xerneas or another Fluttermane on the field that can do Dazzling Gleams and Moon Blasts. Obviously, Adaptability Glamora is good, but then like so many of the other ones are just so much of a letdown. Scovillain, like sure you can burn stuff, but it's like whatever. All of the starters pretty much getting like poor Embor getting stuck with Mold Breaker. Megasoul is pretty good. Dragonize is okay. I'm trying to think of what was another bit. Oh, Drampa. Oh my gosh, my brother. I feel so bad for my brother. My brother is trying to was running a weather team with Mega Drampa in the pre-champions showdown mode, and instead of giving Drampa a weather ability, you know, like how its dex entry says, they just gave it Berserk, which isn't a bad ability because Berserk gives you a special attack increase once you reach half health. But normal Drampa could do that better, because normal Drampa can do Calm Mind, then it can have access to a Citrus Berry, so it gets procs Berserk, eats the berry, and it will go back down, so it could get a possibly +3. So it would just have been a lot better. And I'm kind of mad at the lack of like diversity when it comes to these new megas, because some of them are just downright either horrible and bad, and some of them are like passable at best. Genuinely, right now, the only really that I would say would be like considered an A tier mega of the new megas would be Mega Frostlass, but it just got like an ability that makes sense with Snow Warning. It's just kind of disappointing to me because I was expecting better abilities. Obviously, I'm not expecting every mega to be broken, but I would at least like them to be usable, not like just kind of passable at best. Then getting into the ugly and bad portion, the items in this game are absolutely atrocious, and I think there's no reason that the game should have launched like this. And I am sorry to everyone who thinks this is good, Versify. Trying to space out releases for Mons makes sense. I'm fine with the decks being limited, aside from the megas. I feel like they should have had more megas. But I'm fine with them doing that with the decks. The items is really stupid because it feels like it just takes away flexibility from the player. Obviously, now you kind of have to get a new mindset. You can't do throat spray Girafarig. You're going to have to do like a different type of Girafarig. But at least have consistency, if that makes sense. Like, there's a bunch of berries right now because there's no other items. Items like Life Orb, Choice Specs, Choice Band aren't in the game. But then Choice Scarf is. So you can have Choice Scarf mons to be fast. It doesn't make sense. Like, my brain immediately thinks I'm gonna have to worry about an Archduralodon having an Assault Vest, so my special attacker isn't gonna be able to take care of it. Oh, wait, Assault Vest isn't in the game. Heck, even some of the berries are in the game, like Tropalberry. I don't even think, some of, like, the niche berries aren't in the game. Like, all the main items that are in the game are Focus Sash, Focused Band for some reason, the, like, damage increasing items, and then, like, Bright Powder and King's Rock for some reason. We don't even have, like, Damp Rock or, like, to make weather last longer. It's such a weird combination of stuff for this game, and sure, it can make for interesting plays, but to me, it just seems kind of boring. Like, if you really want to, like, fully try and, like, do a really, really insanely, like, super good team, unironically, Aerodactyl is an insanely good Pokemon, and not Mega Aerodactyl, just normal Aerodactyl, because since it has a nerve, since most people in the game are running berries, you're gonna be able to deny almost the entire team access to, like, their citrus berries or damage reducing berries, because they just can't eat them anymore. And it just kind of off-puts me that they made that decision, and I'm not really sure why. Obviously, we're probably going to get stuff later on, but, like, you know, I would like to have a Flame Orb Heracross. I would like to run that on my bug team that I'm doing, but I can't. It's not possible to do a Flame Orb Heracross. It's just kind of frustrating. Then the stuff that I think is ugly is the lack of accessibility stuff for the players and the bugs. I think this is the ugly stuff. Well, I think the item choice is bad. I can get over at least a little bit. What I can't get over is the stupid stuff. The recruit function, I knew was going to be something that was going to be different. They had to make it different than Showdown instead of just picking your mons. But there is a team rental thing. Normal team rentals, and like Scarlet and Violet and pretty much every other game, you rent someone's team and you use their team. For whatever reason, in this game, it's not a team rental, it's like a copy code. You still have to have all of their mons. And for me, that was a nightmare because I didn't have all of the mons. While I have completed the decks of, like, ZA, I've never completed a dex in, like, Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield. I have a different incomplete save file because me and my brother were doing a Nuzlocke. So it's kind of hard for me to get all of the mons I want, other than the ones I already have saved, and half of the mons I have saved, like Glycopod and Metagross, aren't in the game. So it ends up when I want to try out a team, I can't try out a team because I don't have those mons available unless I gamble and do the gacha system. and it's kind of annoying to me. Right now, the microtransactions don't make sense to purchase fully. I purchased them thinking that they're going to be good. The 1,000 box space is nice to have. Eventually, I think it will be good. But, like, the songs you get are, like, barely passable. They're, like, 3 songs from ZA, which are okay at best, I think. Like, they don't even have Jacinth's battle theme or something like that. And my overall opinion on this game is I like the core fights. It could be good, and there's way too many bugs stuff and going on. One of the biggest examples was the focus sash bug that was going around, where mons could lose their focus sash. One of the biggest bugs, it's not even a bug, it's like a visual thing. My brother's running Drampa. Drampa, before he Mega Evolves, can have Cloud9 or Berserk, and my brother is running Berserk to shut off weather. It doesn't work properly. Drampa shuts off weather, but it doesn't visually change the weather. All it does is tell you the effects of it shut off. So, if you're in a sandstorm with a T-Tar and like an Excadrill and you have Drampa on the field, technically speaking, yes, the Excadrill wouldn't be fast and the T-Tar wouldn't be tanky specially, but the Sandstorm store visually looks up. Previously, Cloud9 shut off the weather, and like they don't mention those changes. They're like the logistical things. There's like settings they don't tell you about, like being able to showcase when Trick Room and like the weather and Tailwind end. Like, why would they have those settings hidden? It's just kind of convoluted. It makes me kind of upset, but let me know your thoughts down below. I still am going to play this game. I'm actually going to keep making my team, and I'll post what my final team for the Pokemon tournament that I'm coming up for Scrawl VGC. I'll post that team when I fully try and get it full. Obviously, the tournament is pretty soon here. It's actually 13 days from when I'm recording this, or not 13 days, 12 days, because it's on the 25th and 26th. And I am excited for that, but it's going to be a little bit interesting because of the lack of items, which is kind of why I want to run a goofy team that I'm running with like all bugs, because I'm not having fun with doing some of these new teams because I don't have rental code stuff or Pokemon to obtain it, and it's just kind of frustrating. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts down below. Stay noble. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!